And just to let you know, mics are hot. We are officially live on Twitch and YouTube with interview number 502. We'll have just a few more seconds of backstage banner before we go live. I'll be dropping the link to the Kickstarter we're going to be looking at today. Everyone watching, for anyone showing up, early birds right here is Horror Not Hate. Check it out on Kickstarter. We're going to be pulling it up and looking it up. Very excited to have my new friend JM on the stream. Everything is green and good to go. I am good as long as you are.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's begin in 3, 2, 1. Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic episode of Keeping It Geekly. It's your Cape Crusader, Cody, and we're hanging out with my new friend, JM Brandt. We're here to break down Horror Not Hate. And, man, I had the opportunity to read this anthology. I loved every bit of it. These stories are awesome, and they hit that itch. If you are a horror fanatic, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and I can't wait to see more of it. JM, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today?
Thanks. Well, thank you for having me. I am exhausted. I just drove multiple hours in the rain. I'm not in my usual dungeon for the one sicko that follows me from podcast to podcast and has seen my office a number of times. So yeah, no, I'm a little drained, but I'm happy to be here, and I'll make sure that I'm on for you, Cody.
And we have our good friends Tipsy Pickle and B-Dub over on Twitch joining us, and our new friend Monkey Gong Productions over on YouTube. Welcome to the stream, guys. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Here is a link to the Kickstarter we're going to be talking about today. Be sure to check it out. If you're able to back, we would love to see that, but simply putting this on social media is free, costs you absolutely nothing to do, and it helps tremendously. JM, we recently just met on Facebook. I think our mutual friend kind of set up the in-between for us, so shout out Craig if you are watching. Thank you for that. And I think
that might be Monkey Gong.
Oh, it might be. I loved, like I said, what I seen in this anthology. It is fantastic. But before we dive into that, I want to dive into who you are. I seen that you were the creator of Slow Feet Comics, Swamp Dogs, and a Splatter Western one-shot, and I'm sure many other stories. How did you get involved into being a creator?
I mean, I basically, apart from being a Ghostbuster, have wanted to be a writer my whole life, or like the longest, and I always loved comics, and sometime in my 20s, it kind of clicked that, like, oh yeah, you can be a comic writer too. I kind of always had this thought from the time that I started taking writing really seriously that I would just do the HP Lovecraft thing and just be writing short stories and, contributing to like weird pulp magazines and stuff. And then I was like, well, wait a minute, why can't I do comic books too? And so here I am.
So what came first for you? Was it the love for horror or the love for comics?
They're about equal. I grew up in a horror household. I was told that my favorite Sesame Street character was the Count, and that my morbidity started early. But basically, I didn't have a choice but to be a horror fan, so I'm really happy that I actually love it. And then my love for comics, God, that must have happened around like 2 or 3, because that was when Secret Wars and DC Superpowers action figures were out. I don't know if you're familiar with them because of the and that's all I wanted was, like, I wanted the black suit Spider-Man, and I wanted the Wolverine, and I wanted the Magneto, and the Red Tornado, and the Firestar, and so I was just all about it. The video rental store, we used to get the like 1960s Marvel cartoons on VHS, and I literally wore through those tapes. I had my parents play them so often. So yeah, I was a horror and comic junkie from the beginning.
Man, it is such a shame that rentals are like no longer a thing. Yeah, I missed going into a Blockbuster, Family Video, and picking up a couple horrors for the weekend.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, we have Blockbuster and Family Video a little bit to thank for the decline, right? Because
Yeah.
they kicked out all the mom and pop shops, and then it was a lot easier for Netflix to take them over. Um, Hell, I still liked renting from Blockbuster and from Netflix, as a matter of fact. I was
Hmm.
like a Netflix disc
Yeah, you
junkie
would mail
too.
them out. Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't begin to tell you how often I was cycling through them. I have insomnia, so I was just like 3 movies a night, most nights. So, yeah. But there is something indescribable about a movie rental store, and if you didn't grow up with it, you don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
It's
dude, and being
kinda
what
sad.
like the little kid and seeing like the beaded like curtain and being like, what's back there?
Mhm.
There's something back there, and then you grow up and you're like, okay, that's not anything I thought it was gonna be. Like,
You mean there's not candy and unicorns back there?
maybe different
Something
types of
even better.
unicorn.
Yeah, that's true. Good
So,
point.
I mean, man, growing up with horror, that was the same thing for me. I remember being such a young kid and my dad, watching Child's Play, the first Child's Play with my dad, and like just being like terrified but loving it. I was Chucky for Halloween as a kid, and
Were you
uh,
really?
yeah, I remember it to this day. My mom had a colored pencil, or maybe it was a makeup pencil. I don't know, but just her
Mhm.
stabbing it in my face to give
Yeah,
me the freckles.
I
Um,
bet you can still feel it, huh?
I love those memories though, and it's horror. Man,
Mhm.
it's such a fun thing, because like horror and comedy is almost the same thing, right? The same type of writing mechanics here and there and mechanisms. What got you into writing horror? Is that what you always started out with, or what type of genres were you exploring when you first started?
Yeah, the earliest short stories that I can find are horror. There would be some speculative stuff too. I still have like a little project that I did in 5th grade. We had to make these like little books of almost like every day or every week we would be given a different hypothetical question, and we'd have to like riff on it for a paragraph or two, in our like giant 5th grade scribble. And I was a big fan of the What If comics at the time.
Yeah.
And so I had the cover. We were making our own laminated cover, and so it's a What If cover. And so it's like the Fantastic Four, but with Namor in it, because like that was my favorite issue at the time, was like the Fantastic Five, like what if Namor had joined? And like the stories, I somehow turned all the hypotheticals into horror stories, and we're talking 10 years old. It was like, oh, what if you were 2 inches tall? And then I wrote a story about like mice kidnapping me and roasting me over like a little thimble fire, and
I love
or
that.
if I was invisible, what I would do, and I'd just be like, oh, I would just haunt everybody, like those were my answers. So
There's two
yeah.
different types of people out there. The one that would do insane things if they were able to be invisible, and then you have JM haunting people, and we love to see it.
I don't know if that answer would hold true anymore. I'd probably be just like a gigantic voyeur, and maybe slowly making somebody go insane. Just moving things a little bit. Like, oh, didn't I put that there? I could have sworn I swapped that out. Like those kinds
Hmm.
of things.
Taking the batteries out that they just replaced, like so
Oh yeah.
it's the small things that really drive you over the edge. Um, Now, horror not hate, awesome
Yes.
anthology, huge cast of creators. What inspired this anthology for you? Like, where did this all begin?
It all began with Trump. Like I got radicalized by Trump. I was very against his first administration. I could smell doom on the
Hmm.
horizon. I was not disappointed by my fears. Like they proved true and worse. It led to the only time I ever protested in my life. Was like when they were detaining kids and separating them from their families. And so when he got reelected again, I was despondent. I mean, we're talking like binge drinking and just like trying to wash away my misery, and like
Hmm.
how could we let this happen again? He said that he would be a dictator. Like in
What
interviews,
the
he
fuck are
said
we
he would be
doing,
a
you know?
dictator. Like, yeah, exactly. And it was like, could people really do that to us again? Like, did we not like watch them roll back all the EPA protections and make it easier to drill for oil on national parkland, and like just everything that I stood for or believed in was basically systematically trashed.
Hmm.
And so I was just like, it took from November until about January or February to like really get out of my malaise. And at that point, I was just complaining to my wife about the news every single morning. And she got sick of it. And she said, well, get up off your ass and do something. And so, I was at work and I just had this crazy idea. I was like, well, what if, because I don't want to do more protests. Like, what if I just try and raise some money for charities that will help make the world a little bit better, or our country a little bit better? And so I just posted on Instagram so that people, like one or two people, would hold me accountable,
Hmm.
and my ADHD self, would be beholden to somebody else, and it just kind of kept growing. It was just like, oh yeah, like I write comics. I can write for free, even though I don't have money. And, I can fundraise that way. But it'd be cooler if I got all my comic friends involved. Um, a lot of my comic friends are involved, but I met a lot of awesome strangers along the way, too. And it was like every time we would get another contributor, it would make it more appealing to the next person and make it easier for me to recruit the next person. And we had a couple people early on that were like huge names that just trusted me enough to say yes. Skinner and I had um, a few conversations back and forth because I've
Hmm.
been a huge fan of his for years, bought several prints and posters, and had emailed him at one point, like talking about getting together for a drink if he was in LA. And so when I hit him up about this, because I knew he was politically active, he was like, "Yeah, man, like let's do it. I'll do a
That's
cover
so
for
cool.
you." Yeah, and so, being able to tell people like, "Hey, this guy who maybe you've never heard of because he only has like 1,700 followers on Instagram, and only a few published books to his name, like maybe um, you could trust me." But then when I'm
Hmm.
like, "Well, maybe you can trust me plus Skinner's on board too," like that makes the sell job a lot easier.
No, that is, and I love how that works out too. Hitting him up for a drink, and it's like, come work on this book with me. Even better, let's kill two birds, one stone. And
Yeah.
speaking of comic friends, we have Craig in chat. Can I please draw mice roasting you?
Yeah,
I would love to
please.
see that.
I would love to see it too. Yeah, no, Craig, you can draw me in any way you want. You can draw me like one of your French girls.
Ooh. So how many submissions did you end up getting for this anthology, and what did it look like, kind of filtering through them to pick out the ones that you ended up using?
Honestly, the submission process was lackluster. Sounds mean, but it was lackluster. Like I didn't have enough of a voice for the open call to be taken all that seriously. And so I only got a few submissions. Um, Outside of people I had already been talking to and asking about, we got one story submission, one for writing, and that was Ricardo. Oh my God, that's what happens when you have like a long car drive.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up. He's a fellow Valley boy too, and so I'm feeling very embarrassed that I'm not recalling him right now. Anyways, we had one story submitted for writing, and it was actually really, really good. Like, it was perfect, and just the idea of somebody actually wanting to jump in and involve themselves was great for me. So he was on board. And then, as far as the art goes, we had a handful of people actually volunteer on the art side. And so, what happened was we had, at the time, more artists than writers. And so, I had to start petitioning writers, one by one, seeking them out on
Mm-hmm.
social media and seeing if they would join in. Soon enough people said yes, that we had more writers than artists. And so I had to do the same thing, but on the art side. And then it happened again, and then it happened again. And meanwhile, like, everybody's trying to do their day job and their family stuff and their comic creative stuff on the
Mm-hmm.
side. And so this project for certain creatives took a lot longer than others. And so I said, well, while I'm still waiting for these stories to come in, I might as well start getting other people. And then, I started thinking about the pinups in the back of the book and just recruiting and recruiting and recruiting. And before I knew it, I had over 50 people signed up to be doing illustrations in the back too.
I love how you started this with saying you had a couple friends that kind of kept you going. That because it's easy, like if it's just you, to not do it, right? But if you have people that you're disappointing, that's when you lock in. It's like, I can't let these people down. At any point were they just pulling the reins like, JM, you got to stop. Too many.
No. I wish I had somebody for that. And as a matter of fact, if we wind up doing a volume 2, I've said it a million times, I'm going to have multiple people there to sort of hold me back, and to help manage the project, because it really, this project, even though I have a background in project management and licensing and fulfillment, I still have a lot of weaknesses that are being exposed by all the stuff that I need to do for the book. I'm really bad with timelines and
Mm-hmm.
deadlines myself, being very ADHD. And so I definitely need somebody to help me with that. And then, there's a need for more. I always figured, like, if I had more, then we would have more followers between us, which meant the likelihood of a higher donation. Because we haven't mentioned it yet. I'm doing all this for charity. Uh, I'm not allowed to say it on the Kickstarter, but every single cent that we're making outside of printing and fulfillment costs is going to immigrant rights organization called Shirley, and LGBTQIA organization called Lambda Legal.
So
So,
what's the hold up? Why can't you mention that on Kickstarter?
so technically, Kickstarter doesn't allow for charity projects. So,
What?
yeah. So what I said is we would be making donations of equal size.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't mention is that it will be everything, outside of printing costs. So, um, all of us are doing this out of the kindness of our hearts, which
That's
I think is
awesome.
even more amazing. Yeah,
That is
I think.
awesome. No, that's
Was,
fantastic. Yeah.
yeah. So it's Ricardo Acevedo. I was getting mixed up. We have two Ricardos in the book. Ricardo Acevedo is the one writer that submitted a story. It's called Hypoxia. It's very cool. And then we have Ricardo Diseño, who's in the illustrations gallery, who also has, and I know that we'll go through it when you said we look at the Kickstarter rewards, but he has these artist proof magic cards that he did that are
Oh,
really
that's
cool.
so cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just got back. I played Magic in Standard. What, 5, 6? I don't, many years ago. And I
Uh-huh.
remember it was right around. It was a block change or a set change. I remember pouring a lot of money into a competitive deck, and then like a month or two later, it like was not anything, and I was just broken. I was like, I'm done. Cardboard crack no more. And I just got a precon because I wanted to get into Commander, and I'm like, man, Final Fantasy, it got me roped in. Damn it.
Yeah. I have a very good friend that works at a game store, and he's always been into TCGs,
Hmm.
but he was trying to get me back into Magic cards. I mean, this will show my age a little bit. I got in during Revised
Okay.
when I discovered it. So, what is that, the third or fourth set? And I held on until Ice Age. So, I ran with it for multiple sets
Hmm.
and pumped way too much money into the hobby, and he's trying to get me back. But what he said is, there's a format that's meant for people that don't want to spend a bunch of money, that are sort of more interested in the older decks or older cards, or like the less expensive cards.
Hmm.
I forget what it's called. Maybe like Popper or something like
Yeah,
that.
I think so. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he's been tempting me, and I am tempted. And yeah, all these other sets, like the Marvel set, obviously,
Oh yeah.
um, and the D&D set, because I used to play D&D at the same time. All of that is definitely appealing to me.
So we have Craig stretch goal idea for the mice roasting you. Hey, that's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea at all. So why don't we go ahead and we're gonna switch over to our campaign screen. Let's pull up the Kickstarter, see what all the hype is about. And once again, everyone that is in the stream, be sure to check this out with us. If you're able to back it, we would love to see that. But simply putting it on Facebook, Twitter, anywhere you can. Word of mouth is 100% free. It costs you nothing to do. And you're helping out a good cause, a great cause. I think it's awesome. Everyone is doing it just to support the cause. Because time is money. It's a sad, unfortunate truth. But time is money, and it's awesome that people are dedicating so much of their time to such an awesome cause.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Bouncing off of Craig's idea, Craig does have as one of the add-on rewards available in our campaign, commissions. Somebody could pay for a commission and then just have me being roasted by mice.
I love it. I love it. So we had so many awesome stories in here. Let's talk about it right here. This one in particular, we were talking backstage. Man, such an awesome story. I love this. Is almost identical to the panel I was talking about, where it's raining. It's dark, gritty, black and white, and this rain is so awesome. Like the detail, just like the rain right here in the silhouette, and then outside of the silhouette, it's beautiful.
Yeah, no, Caleb Beatty is a really, really gifted, talented artist, and I can't say enough about the artwork in it. Um, it his use of shadow and rain and sort of like just the way that he blends all the effects together, it kind of has a Ralph Steadman quality to it that
Hmm.
I think comes through with all the splatter effects and everything. It's really stunning, breathtaking work. He does have his original pages for the story available through the campaign as add-ons also, and he is doing commissions. He's offered up 3 commission slots, and I'm awfully tempted to take one of those myself.
It's insane. This is done traditionally too. Like you'd almost imagine this being done in a digital like manner, but like the fact that this is physical is like insane.
Yeah, no, I mean, we have a number of gifted artists, but this one really stood out. He really took this as a labor of love. Rich Douek is the writer for that story. It's called Rag and Bone. Rich also took it like, not that anybody took it less seriously, I don't think, but there are some people that are digging into a deeper, darker place than others, I want to
Hmm.
say. And this was about as deep and dark as it gets, and the subject matter sort of reflects that, and I think the tone of the art does too.
And one thing I loved about this anthology is all the different types of art, all the different
Yeah.
types of mediums, all the different types of styles. We have dark and gritty. You have something that's a little bit more colorful, but still just as horrific. And the different types of horrors, it was just such an awesome blend. What was some of the stories that kind of spoke out the most to you in this, without spoiling too much?
Oh yeah, no, that's okay. I just feel bad singling people out and having favorites.
I'm sorry
I
for being
think
the bad guy.
no, that's okay. It's like, asking a dad, like, oh, which one of the kids is your
Yeah,
favorite?
yeah.
Um, my favorite story is mine because I'm the best writer in the world.
It has to
So
be.
yeah, no, it has to be. No, I like mine. Rich's is amazing. Um, Zach Chapman, he's a writer based out of Austin and has a few series through Kickstarter. Came out with this like 4-page banger of a story that Craig actually did the art, both color and ink on. Um, and that's awesome. Like I think a lot of people are going to walk away from that one like really, with the mental image of that stuck in their head when they think
Mm-hmm.
about horror, not hate. There's a yeah. I don't want to spoil anything about that one, except that it involves a Fox News proxy.
I love
So
that.
yeah, so that one is good. Moni Barrette, who heads an association called Creators Assemble, and is very instrumental in like bringing together public librarians
Hmm.
and comic creators. She has her first written piece ever. Her
Oh, that's
first
cool.
published piece is a story in this where Gerald von Stoddard did the art for it
Hmm.
and Alex Leaf did the coloring for it. And that one turned out incredibly well and is actually thematically very similar to Craig and Zach's story. Sort of again, like how the hate that we consume begins to consume us.
Yeah.
And, I think that's something that a lot of people think about when they're close to, somebody that's sort of devolving or being more indoctrinated into this cult of hate, really.
This panel right here was from a story that I really enjoyed. We were talking backstage about this one as well. And it's a whole different type of horror. It's not like a body horror or like a spook in the night horror. It's kind of like if you're a piece of shit and you gotta deal with what it's like with people being shitty to you. And I loved that aspect of it, like the horror of like facing your decisions, right? The horror of
Yeah.
like you've been a piece of shit and this is the outcome of that. And it's like a lot of these stories just hit such deep notes. Yours in particular, I really enjoyed that, and I do want to kind of dive into it without spoiling too much. But what was it like, creating a comic based off of a poem?
Well, that's it. Okay. I wanted to find a poem, and that was just like sort of my first goal. And I mentioned this in my Substack, so shout out to JM Brandt's Substack if anybody feels like getting like 2 updates a year. I think I get 3 in 2025, maybe 4. But I try and create writing challenges for myself. I don't know if you're a basketball guy at all. I'm a huge basketball guy, and Bill Simmons is my favorite sports writer, and he's a huge Celtics fan. So he had written about how Larry Bird had this habit of making in-game challenges for himself, where he would like be like, "Oh, the game's too easy for me. I'm just gonna try shooting only left-handed jump shots,"
Oh
or
yeah.
like I'm gonna tell my defender every single time what I'm going to do, and then I'm gonna do it anyways. Stuff like that, and so I try and come up with a writing challenge for me every single time because I need the extra dopamine, being like an ADHD kid. So this time it was find a poem and write a story based off of a poem. And more than that, I wanted to make something where I could tell a story without using dialogue, but with still using words,
Hmm.
if that made sense. So a poem seemed like a natural fit. Jeremy Waggoner, who is the publisher of, or co-publisher for Dead Sky Publishing, which did my one-shot splatter western, turned me on to some resources because he's a huge World War II buff, and I found a poem written inside of a concentration camp, and I read it a few times and just came up with an idea that isn't exactly based on it, but it fits the same beats of the
Yeah.
poem. And I'd like to think that it has a really good effect and synchronicity to it. But
No, I
you
loved it. I thought it was great.
thank you.
And we have some fantastic. Speaking of great, we have some fantastic covers.
Yes.
This is absolutely gorgeous. I just love the red and blue combination. It's that spooky, Tales from the Crypt feeling, and I think it just nailed perfectly almost.
Yeah, I've been a great admirer. That's Chad J. Keith is the artist. And, most of the people that I've talked to, writers, artists, illustrators, everybody, are people that I've been fans of forever. So getting them all on board was just a dream come true. Chad and I had talked a couple times before. He is known for doing like these sort of skulls that are highlighted in neon and very bright and colorful. But it's always in like a synth wavy palette. It's like purples and greens. And
Mm-hmm.
while that would have been cool, when he was like, "Well, what do you want for the cover?" I was like, "Well, I want Chad J. Keith to be Chad J. Keith. Like, there's a reason I love your stuff." And I was like, "But what about if we do it in red, white, and blue to make it like, American, patriotic, whatever?" And I think that sort of idea coupled incredibly well with
Yeah.
his art. It to me, it feels like it jumps right off the page. And the Kickstarter backers are definitely sort of echoing that sentiment that is outpacing the other covers by a decent amount.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. But this one right here, I'm a huge fan of metal. Death metal, deathcore, whatever slams. I love it. And this is gorgeous. I love this so much, dude. I would wear this on a shirt. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny you say that because we have multiple shirts available, but
He's like, speaking
Jonathan
of it.
Jonathan Lamantia's artwork for that cover is actually not one of our shirts. We do have it available as a poster without the Horror Not Hate logo, so it's just like that full piece.
Hmm.
We have a print of it and we have a sticker of it. But we don't have a shirt for it, unfortunately. That might change. If I get enough people asking for it, I'll add it to the list. But yeah, Jonathan Lamantia is amazing. Uh, so far, that is the only original art that has moved in our campaign was
Hmm.
Jonathan's cover, which was done by hand in 11 by 17. If people are on Instagram, you can look at Jonathan's Instagram page and you can see a time lapse of that cover being drawn. And it's amazing the amount of work that went into it. It took them 30 hours of drawing
Yeah.
time to make that piece. So
Oh, it's insane.
yeah, no, I love it. It's actually the background desktop wallpaper for me right now. So
And then this cover too, cover C, is just absolutely gorgeous.
yeah. That I would say is probably our second most popular to date. Skinner is an amazing artist. Like all three of them have metal roots. Skinner, this cover C, did an album cover for Mastodon and for High on Fire. He's just like always been one of my favorite artists since I found out about him years and years and years ago. I have multiple prints of his hanging in my house. My brother is a huge collector and bought like one of his statues and all these like limited originals and stuff. And it's just what I find myself doing is if I need a break from working on the project, I stare at that cover and just like over and over again, like I'm finding like different things to like about different monsters in there.
Hmm. You look at this and you're like, this is too damn badass for me to like stop now.
Right.
Time to get it.
Yeah, time to get stoned and just like really
Yeah.
stare at that cover.
I thought this was awesome too. So cover 4 will actually be a tier where you can back and pick it from a selection of 8 covers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So the thinking here, it's a tier that's available for reward called "I'm the Captain Now," and it's $500. Will get you to be able to pick the fourth cover for Horror Not Hate. And there's already multiple people that are signed up for it without even knowing what it is. Which is kinda cool. But the idea is that it's eight illustrations from the pinup gallery that I think will make for the best cover.
Hmm.
And that came about because originally I had told Pyro Malice, whose art isn't heavily featured in the social media and in the campaign because I want to keep it kind of under wraps. Um, he was originally going to have that fourth cover because it was amazing, and it still would be, and it's still a consideration. It's one of those 8. But then I was like, oh, but that would be a cool cover, and that would be a
Hmm.
cool cover. I can't decide, and so I was like, well, why not have a backer decide? Like, especially because this is for charity. Um, you know, People get the ultimate customization in
Hmm.
that they sort of get to decide how this project goes forward and how people are going to visually remember the project. And as of right now, about 10 people have signed up for whatever cover D is going to be. So whoever backs it gets to choose what those 10 people are seeing on their coffee table forever.
I love that. I love people who live on the edge. Yeah, I find it hard to push myself to live on the edge. I don't know. Like the random grab box, like for me, it's exhilarating sometimes.
Yeah, it really
So
is.
let's go ahead, check out some of these rewards add-ons, and then we're gonna be checking out the different tiers as well. And excuse me, but man, these magic cards are gorgeous.
Yeah. So, matter of fact, the one on the right, done by Matt Sticker, is the first limited thing to have sold out. So, all of Matt Sticker's magic cards are already gone. So, you guys should have known about us a few days ago.
Yeah.
But there are still about 10 cards available on the left. That's Ricardo Diseño. All of his artwork is amazing. I've been a fan of his for years also. And what's really cool about his magic card, apart from the fact that he'll be signing it, and I don't know if people are familiar, but these are artist proof cards. So it doesn't have a traditional back, it's a
Hmm.
white back instead. So that way you could get an artist. If you can hunt Ricardo down, he's based out of Austin, I think. You could probably get him to do a sketch on it. Or you could sketch yourself, or maybe glue on a fake magic card back and try and play it. But with those cards, there's 20 available, and 10 of them are holographic, and 10 of them are regular.
Oh, that's
And we're just
cool.
sort of randomly throwing in which ones are which. So you have a 1 in 2 chance of getting a holographic or artist proof.
So we of course have commissions available. We'll be checking out the different tiers. The magic cards. We have shirts. We have stickers. Prints. I mean, there is so much swag with this and merchandise, and it is all gorgeous. I love these covers too up on the wall. These are awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I do too. I think anybody that decks themselves out in horror not hate gear is going to be the envy of everybody else.
So let's go ahead. Let's just go through some of these tiers, and then while we're at it, guys, anyone who is watching with us, be sure to check this out. Be sure to back. If you can't back, put that on Facebook. Anywhere you can. Word of mouth is 100% free. So we of course have that I Am the Captain Now tier at $500, where you get to choose the cover. And you get some awesome goodies with it as well. But even just starting out at the $3 tier, get up and fight. You could just go ahead and hit this tier. These are add-ons right here, right?
Yes,
Yep.
those are add-ons.
Kickstarter
Yeah.
changes its thing like every other month. It feels like.
Oh, I know. It's really hard. What I found out, and I wish I knew this ahead of time, and so I've sort of course corrected a little bit. Add-ons are really hard to find unless you're already pledging, and all the commissions right now are sort of behind that paywall of the you have to pledge first in order to even see it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not sure what you want to do, people listening at home, you can still hit the pledge button and not commit to it yet, and that will let you see all the add-ons that are available if you just want to browse the add-ons. And you can do just that $3 get up and fight as a pledge, and that will give you access to all the add-ons, even if you don't want to get the book.
But get the book. I mean, it's a great
Yeah,
cause. Help charity.
absolutely.
Get the book. And speaking of that, you can get
website.
You can get the digital copy at $20, over 200 pages. Outstanding price for the digital copy of that. We have physical copies of cover A, B, C, and D, all at $40. And I love that you kept the variant at the same price as the standard cover.
No, thank you. There will be, it's in the stretch goals. If somebody picks the I'm the Captain Now, and if nobody's doing it within 10 days or I want to say within 5 days of closing, I'll pick the cover just so we're not in the rush. But if somebody picks it up and we hit, I think it's 30,000, it says in that campaign overview, we will unlock someone's ability to pick another of those 8 covers as a limited higher cost variant. So we would run off very, very limited numbers of copies for that. You would have first crack, you'd be able to pick it, but it's sort of a pricey entry point, and it would be a higher cost for the book too.
And remember, this is all for a great cause. So, if you're going to spend your dollar on something, make sure you spend it on something that has great meaning to it. And this is a campaign to definitely support. We have the Wear Horror, Erase Hate tier at $70. You get a Ghost Ship t-shirt, digital copy of Horror Not Hate, physical copy at cover A, your name in the Wall of Dignity, and gratitude, of course. So is that do we have a image of this shirt?
Yeah, so let's see. That's kind of where it is that I had the difficulty in putting the thing together.
I gotcha.
I put the shirts in as add-ons, not realizing that people wouldn't be able to see them ahead of time. And so just last night, I added this Wear Horror Not Hate, Wear Horror Erase Hate tier, where it's not just the Ghost Ship. If you read the description, there are a bunch of different t-shirts available. The Horror Not Hate logo, the Nathaniel Barter, the Matt Sticker, the Ghost Ship, the Drew Roush, Evil J, Tyler Lampf. Those are all, you can see them better in the add-on section. And also in the updates, I have bigger pictures of those to show off also.
Well, let's go ahead and see if I can pop one up real quick.
I forget if it's update 4. It's probably update 4.
Right, so that's going to be this one.
Yes.
I love the shirts. I love anything like that. Yeah, these are fire, man. This back is sick.
Yeah, so that image was originally going to be our cover D. And I mean, as you can tell, that would be an awesome cover for a horror anthology. So what I wanted to do to sort of highlight it is we're going to do 50 pieces of the hoodie. So I wasn't planning on doing a hoodie, but I was playing around with mock-ups, and it just looked too cool to pass up. So higher up was that sort of closer look at the different t-shirts, I think. But yeah, you can get a look in the updates to see them. It might also be in update 3. But amazing t-shirts. I do have posted them on social media also. So you can follow me at j.m.brandt or at Slowfeet Comics and see them there too.
All right, so let's go ahead. We have some original art at $5.50. So is this going to be original art from the story in the anthology? And if so, do they get to pick what page, or how does that work?
Okay, so all of the options are different. So this David Van Gogh, that is the piece that you would be getting. That was made for the pinup pages. It is one of the cover options available for the I'm the Captain Now. It's a piece called The Wretched Refuse. So that's available for $5.50. If you go right below it to the next reward or a tier, that's the Chad J. Keith. That's a 24 by 36 painting that was scanned in for our cover A. So that is available. We do have original pages available from 2 different stories. Jade Lauder's work on Bottled Up, which I sent you as a one of the stories to preview, and then Kayla Beatty with Rag and Bone. The original pages are available too, and those are both as add-ons, and they will be randomized pages from the story, but rest assured every single page is a banger.
Yeah, that is awesome. So for everyone that is watching, one last time, be sure to check out this campaign, and back if you can. If you're not able to, put it on social media anywhere you can. Word of mouth is 100% free, and it will cost you nothing to just share the link. Just share the link. That's all you got to do. JM, this is first time on the show, so what we do is we ask for a little bit of advice and what you're up to outside of creating. So for the aspiring writer out there looking to get into writing and kind of just get into their own genre, whether it's horror, comedy, romance, action, whatever, what would be your biggest piece of advice to them to kind of help them excel in that field?
Well, this is one that I've heard from a billion different people, and I wish I followed it myself. I just can't seem to get there. Not yet. which is write every day. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad, just write. Get your brain in the habit of doing it, and it will come much easier to you. With me, it's like constipation sometimes because I'm not using it like every single day. I'm losing it, and it's been sort of the source of a lot of my writer's block over the years. So um, definitely like journal, make some free association writing or something, but just get yourself in the habit of writing every single day. It's something that I still am working on, and I would be a better person for it. So you definitely would be a better writer for it.
And isn't it crazy? It takes literally 5 minutes, 10 minutes, even just writing a sentence or two. And I have
Yeah.
such a hard time. I have a little journal where every day I write down my goals for the day, and it's read 10 pages out of a book and write. And it's like so hard to do both. But you make time for what you want, and you have to like kind of just instill that discipline within yourself.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm this is the most disciplined I've ever been is putting this project together. So, maybe it's a turning point for me, and I'm just going to be super prolific and like a Stephen King or something. But uh, yeah, as of right now, I'm just, writing when inspiration hits. And what you find is inspiration hits a lot less often if you're not in writing mode.
Mhm. And it's going to hit you when you're least expecting it too. You got to keep that muscle flexed. You got to keep it primed and ready to go. So outside of creating, what are you up to? If you play video games, what are you gaming on? What TV shows are
Yeah.
you watching? What books are you reading?
So I'm like a huge movie guy, and I'm just watching like a ton of random movies, a lot of horror movies, a lot of sex comedies. Uh, I'm writing a I'm writing a project with my artist from Horror Not Hate right now, and I'm watching a lot of giallos because of that. So
Hmm.
uh, 1970s Italian horror movies and 80s Italian horror movies. But I do game quite a bit also. Um, I'm gonna buy myself Baldur's Gate 3 after fulfillment's done, so I can get lost in
A
an
little treat.
RPG for a while. Yeah, exactly. Like I've earned it. I've spent God knows how many countless sleepless nights working on this, so I deserve to get lost in something else. But when I need a writing break or a horror not hate break, I've been busting out this roguelite called Neon Abyss,
Hmm.
which I got during the last Steam sale. It's a lot of fun. It's just like a very, very satisfying gameplay loop and like 400 different guns to choose from. So I'm enjoying that. And TV wise, not so much. Like if I'm sitting down and watching something, it's usually movies. Although I am showing my son Simpsons in order. So we're on like the end of season 7 right now.
I
We're
love that so
right in the
much.
spot. Yeah. Like he watches all the newer seasons on
Hmm.
his own on repeat. And now that we're getting into the old stuff, he's like, oh, I know that character, and like, oh, I get that now. Because what happens in the later seasons for people that ended at the end of the golden era like I did, um, the writers now seem to be fans of the show's golden era, and so they'll bring back one-off characters like the really tall guy from 22 Stories About Springfield
Hmm.
that's driving in the tiny car. Like he makes a guest appearance in another episode, or they'll bring back the Pin Pals, and so there's an episode about the Pin Pals again, and stuff like that.
Dude, I remember being a kid, and not many people remember the Flaming Moe episode where
Mhm.
Barney puts cough medicine or whatever in the drink. I don't know if it was Barney or Moe in the
Oh, it
drink.
was
It sets
fine.
on fire. Aerosmith is in The Simpsons, and everyone does not believe me when I tell them. But dude, it was such. That was my childhood. Was The Simpsons growing up with my dad. Me and my kid now, like we watch a lot of old school like anime, like Trigun. We just got through. I think it's 26 episodes.
Nice.
Getting her through excuse me, Demon Slayer. But
Mm.
yeah, gaming wise, man, I've just been an RPG kick. Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy Tactics, same games I played when I was a kid, playing again.
All time. Yeah, no, Tactics had me. I was like, doing my hardest to unlock all the different jobs and like some of
In
them
like
are
chapter 1, right? It's like as soon as you could, they're all unlocked. They just came out with a remaster on the Switch.
yeah. Oh, I know.
It's good.
My
It's
wallet.
good.
Don't tell my wallet.
So everyone watching, check out the description for the links to stay up to date with what JM is doing. We have the Substack link and all your other social media platforms that I've seen you frequent. Most importantly, share this link. Let your friends know this is a supporter you can, support, one that needs your help right now. Every donation matters. Every share matters. So do your part and help us spread the word. Hope you all have a fantastic Saturday. But most importantly, guys, keep it geekly. All right. So